again to report that yesterday, the native agricultural programs changing lives at the grassroots. Investments, ladies and gentlemen, are the lifeblood of the grassroots. Investments, ladies and gentlemen, are the lifeblood of economic transformation. They inject capital, spur innovation, generate employment, and unlock local potential. Nowhere is this more true than our counties. Under our bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we are working with counties to build one bankable, high-impact value chain in every county, from fish processing here in Homa Bay to leather in Kajiado and textiles in Kitui. This is about turning local potential into jobs, incomes, and exports. The government of Kenya, through the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry, is developing investment procedures for key priority sectors, working with counties. This will serve as strategic tools to highlight opportunities, showcase value propositions, and support investor engagement locally in our counties and internationally as well. We have already completed the initial 4 sector packages: leather, business processing, outsourcing, e-mobility, and textile and apparels. By supporting end-to-end value chain ecosystems, we will increase local incomes, enhance food security, create jobs for our young people, and position counties as net exporters. Yet progress, again, ladies and gentlemen, is uneven, and the full promise of equity remains work in progress. This conference must be a turning point, not only for celebration, but for honest reflection and decisive action. To unlock the full potential of devolution, we must strengthen capacity in our counties by building the skills, expertise, and employing technology needed for effective service delivery. Excellencies, while we may not have all the resources we desire, we have enough to deliver meaningful service to our people, needed for effective directing resources to the right purposes. How much is lost to waste and corruption? And what concrete measures are we putting in place to seal leakages, curb misuse, and enhance efficiency? These are the hard questions we must confront with candor, courage, and urgency. Without a doubt, we need to answer these questions as leaders. And I listened very carefully to the statements that have been made here, both by the earlier speakers, by the chair of the Council of Governors, by the Speaker of the Senate, and we all must be honest about ourselves and about what we are doing. And we must agree that the resources that are availed by the people of Kenya through their taxes are meant for delivering transformation in our counties and in our nation. I did sign into law a few weeks ago legislation that will boost the fight against corruption by signing into law the Conflict of Interest Bill, now law. I do expect that agencies charged with making sure that there is accountability at all levels of government take up their role as efficiently, as effectively, with accountability as the law and the Constitution mandates them. The EACC must take up their role. I have made it absolutely clear to the chair of the Anti-Corruption Commission, to the CEO of the Anti-Corruption Commission, that there will be no sacred cows and there will be no telephone call from anywhere below or above to stop anybody from being prosecuted for matters corruption. While I agree with the sentiments expressed by the Speaker of the Senate, and he has made a solid statement on holding governors and county governments to account, I also must say the legislature must also be held to account. Because there is something going on in our legislature that we must call out. There is money being demanded from the executive, from governors, from ministers, from people in the executive, especially those who go for accountability before our houses of parliament. Mr. Speaker, it cannot continue to be business as usual. It is not possible that committees of parliament demand to be bribed, demand to be paid for them to write reports or to look the other way for what is happening in either the national government or the county government. All of us must act together. The fight against corruption must be an all of society engagement and exercise and effort. I also want to ask the judiciary not to be a haven for the corrupt to hide behind judicial decisions. We have innovation that is only available in Kenya that allows a corrupt person or somebody who has stolen public resources or somebody in breach of law not to be prosecuted. Something called anticipatory bail. It is a Kenyan innovation that takes us backwards. Just let's ask ourselves, somebody who has stolen public funds and then goes to court and gets something called anticipatory bail, makes it impossible for such a person to be arrested and prosecuted endlessly. How does that support the fight against corruption? This is a matter I hope our friends in the judiciary would help us answer. Because we are undertaking transformation in Kenya, but that transformation is being undermined by corruption, and we must call it what it is. And all agencies, institutions, and arms of government, we must come together to deal with the challenge of corruption so that we can ensure that public resources are meant and are used for the intended purposes for which the people of Kenya have asked us. Without a doubt, ladies and gentlemen, technology can help in eliminating waste and enhancing efficiency. Since its inception in 2013, the e-Citizen platform has stood at the heart of Kenya's digital transformation. What began with a handful of services, about 300 then, has evolved into a 24/7 one-stop shop for over 22,000 government services, accessible from every part of Kenya and everywhere in the world. Today, more than 14 million Kenyans are registered on the e-Citizen platform. Logging in daily to access passports, driving licenses, business registration, land transactions, marriage certificates, police clearances, and much more. All without queues, intermediaries, brokers, or unnecessary bureaucracy. The results speak for themselves. Collections have surged more than 1,500%, from Kenya shillings 60 million to over 1 billion shillings collected by e-Citizen daily, translating to more than 500 billion annually. Ministries, departments, and agencies have seen revenue growth of up to 400%, supported by accurate projections and better planning. Equally, counties have integrated their digital portals with e-Citizen and have seen remarkable growth. Mombasa County, for example,